Yaquar? Let me see if this camera back right. Because I had to change the battery. All right, go ahead, bro.
All right, this is back in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 14. For the hope of the ungodly is like dust that is blown away with the wind.
See, them Edomites on the other side of that water, their hope is like dust, man. Blown with the wind, man. Okay? Go ahead.
Like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm.
Yep, go ahead.
Like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest and passeth away as the remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day.
Yeah, somebody that come visit you for one day and they gone the next day. That's the way the pride of them Edomites gonna be gone, and their riches gonna be gone, and their boats are gonna be gone, and the same way with them other nations on the other side of that water, overseas, man. All their riches gonna be gone, man. You see? And give me what you got in Ezekiel 25 and 12.
Okay, this is Ezekiel 25 and 12. Thus said the Lord power, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them.
Right, go ahead.
Therefore, thus said the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it.
Yep, cut off man and beast. So he's going to cut off man from Babylon and the beast. So a beast in the ancient world represents what? Resources, riches. Okay? So he's going to cut off the resources from Esau, man. Go ahead.
And I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword.
See, there you go. Go ahead.
And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
So payback, man. Payback coming, man. So even though you heathens gonna be building up our kingdom, hey, the vengeance of YAHAWASHI, the Most High gonna use Israel to bring it to you heathens. Mainly, the top one is Esau, man. You gonna get it. You gonna get it. You gonna get it, man. You gonna get it. Go ahead.
And they shall do with Edom according to mine anger.
According to my anger. So the Most High is gonna put anger on Israel like never before, and Israel gonna hate Esau, and they're gonna do damage to Esau according to the Lord's anger. Okay? Not according to the Israelites' anger, but according to the Lord's anger. So you're gonna get judged, man, for what you have done to the Negro Latinos and Native Americans. You're gonna get judged, man. You're gonna get beat all the way to the bottom, man. Go ahead.
And according to my fury.
See? Go ahead, bro.
And they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord power.
So Esau shall know the vengeance of YAHAWASHI. YAHAWASHI gonna use Israelites to bring vengeance on Esau, man. See?
It is.
Is there some more on that? Or is it on that?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Go back to Wisdom of Solomon.
All right, this is back in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 15.
I tell you to get you still holding Judith?
Yeah.
Okay, the 5th chapter. All right. Okay, go ahead.
But the righteous live for evermore.
Mm-hmm.
Their reward also is with the Lord, YAHAWASHI, and the care of them is with the Most High.
See? Go ahead.
Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom.
Therefore they shall receive a glorious kingdom. The Israelites. And who gonna build it up? You heathen. We just read Isaiah 16:10 on down. Isaiah 16:10 on down, man. Go ahead.
And a beautiful crown from the Lord, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI.
And a beautiful crown. So it's gonna be kings. Rulership. See? Go ahead.
I'll read it again. And a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them. And with his arm shall he protect them.
See? Oh, who is he talking about? The Israelites, man. When you read that whole chapter, right? Starting at, when you read from 5, what verse you at?
17.
From 5 to 17.
That was 16 that I just finished.
From 5 to 16, when you read the first verse, it's talking about the Israelites, man, and how these other nations looked at Israelites coming out here teaching as crazy. And they were saying they were consumed in their wickedness.
I said 5 to 17. I meant to say Wisdom of Solomon, Chapter 5,
Yeah.
verse 1 to 17. So like,
Yeah. Slip of the tongue. It happens, bro. You know, we just men. You know, go ahead, bro.
so verse 17. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his salaki. And make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies.
See? We just reading that, man. And where? Ezekiel 25. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 18. He shall put on righteousness as a breastplate, and true judgment instead of an helmet.
Yep. So true judgment gonna be pushed in the earth, man. What's true judgment? The statute, laws, and commandments, man. And Israel ruling, man. Okay? Now, I'm gonna let this brother read this, but how many more verses we got over there?
5 more verses for this chapter.
Let's finish that out.
Okay. Verse 19. He shall take holiness for an invisible shield. His
Read it again for me, bro.
This
Start
is
at the top.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 20. His severe wrath shall be, his severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise.
So, who is that world gonna fight with YAHAWASHI? It's the world of Israel, man. The elect, man. You see? All you gotta do is read Psalm 110. My people will be willing in the day of power. Go ahead.
So verse 21. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark. Verse 22. And hailstones full of wrath shall be cast as out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall range against them, and the flood shall.
That's dealing with judgment. That's dealing with the judgment on the Heavenly Father's enemies, man. YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI enemies, the nation of Israel enemies. Go ahead, bro.
Shall cruelly down them. Verse 23. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty.
See? Who is the mighty? Esau. Esau got a mighty army, man. You see? Esau got a mighty army, man. So Esau army gonna be overthrown, and once Esau army get overthrown, the rest of these nations gonna be out of there, man. So give me what we got in Judith. What I want, now this is dealing with the Babylonians, Belgium, Holofernes, the Israelites, and Achor, okay? Achor, the Amorite. Hey, give me Deuteronomy 23. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, this is the book of Judith, chapter 5 and verse 18. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles.
So what what Achor is doing is laying down to Holofernes the history of Israel, okay? Because Holofernes was a general up under the Babylonian Empire, and they was going after Israel. Go ahead.
Very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their power was cast to the ground.
Yeah, see, they're dealing with the Israelites. We run down their history. All right, go ahead.
And their cities were taken by the enemies.
See, go ahead.
But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered.
Go ahead.
And have possessed Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
Where their sanctuary is.
Go ahead.
And are seated in the hill country.
Go ahead.
For it was desolate.
Go ahead.
Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in his people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that they shall be their ruin.
See? Now that's a reason why I want to read this, man. But for y'all out there that don't understand, see, anytime Israel sin against the Most High, their enemies can take them, okay? Once they go against their power, which is YAHAWASHI, their enemies can take them. All right, bro.
Okay, this is the book of Judith, chapter 5 and verse 18. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles.
Right.
Very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs.
Now, the reason why I'm reading this is because people are trying to find any excuse to say other nations can be saved. But the reason why I'm reading this particular book, Judah, is because of Achor, okay? That's why I'm having the brothers to go into this book. But there's information in here to show you about how Israel, when they rebel against the Most High, they get defeated. But go ahead, bro.
And the temple of their power was cast to the ground.
Go ahead.
And their cities were taken by the enemies. But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if they be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them.
Yeah, so that's what Achor was running down to Holofernes, which was a general up under the Babylonians, okay, who was going after the Israelites, who was at war with the Israelites. Go ahead.
And their power before them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
Go ahead.
And when Achor had finished these sayings, all the people standing round about the tent murmured.
Yeah, the soldiers. Okay? Go ahead.
And the chief men of Holofernes and all that dwelt by the seaside and in Moab spake that he should kill him.
Yeah, so they were looking to put Achor to death. Go ahead.
For say they, we will not be afraid of the face of the children of Israel.
Go ahead.
For lo, it is a people that have no strength nor power for a strong battle.
Go ahead.
Now therefore, Lord Holofernes, we will go up, and they shall be a prey to be devoured of all thine army.
Now, we're going to have to jump to chapter 6 to get some more out of this. Go ahead.
This is Judith Chapter 6 and verse 10.
Go ahead.
Then Holofernes commanded his servants that waited in his tent to take Achor and bring him into Bethulah,
Yeah.
and deliver him into the hands of the children of Israel.
Go ahead.
So his servants took him and brought him out of the camp into the plain. And they went from the midst of the plain into the hill country, and came unto the fountains that they were under Bethulah. And when the men of the city saw them, they took up the weapons and went out of the city to the top of the hill.
So Israelites came out with their weapons. Go ahead, because they seen that army coming. Go ahead.
And every man that used a sling kept them from coming up by casting of stones against them.
Go ahead.
Nevertheless, having gotten privately under the hill, they bound Achor and cast him down and left him at the foot of the hill.
So they set him up to die with the Israelites. Go ahead.
And returned to their Lord.
Go ahead.
But the Israelites descended from their city and came unto him and loosed him.
Right. Go ahead. Verse 17. Okay.
And brought him into Bethulah and presented him to the governors of the city.
Verse 17.
Jump down to 17.
Yeah.
And he answered and declared unto them the words of the counsel of the Holofernes, and all the words that he had spoken in the midst of the princes of Ashur, and whatsoever Holofernes had spoken proudly against the house of Israel.
Yep. Go ahead.
Then the people fell down and worshipped their power, and cried unto their power, saying, O Lord, power of heaven, behold their pride and pity, the low estate of our nation.
So they was crying to the Heavenly Father. Go ahead.
And look upon the face of those that are sanctified unto thee this day.
So Achor told them the counsel of Holofernes and what they was trying to do to the Israelites. So they start crying to the Most High. Go ahead.
Then they comforted Achor and praised him greatly. And
Ozias. Yeah.
And Ozias took him out of the assembly unto his house, and made a feast to the elders. And they called on the power of Israel all that night for help.
Now we're gonna have to jump to chapter 14 to see what went on with Achor. We just speeding y'all up. Chapter 14.
This is the book of Judith, chapter 14, in verse 5. But before ye do these things, call me Achor, the Ammonite.
So Achor was known as what? An Ammonite, which today you know him as Japanese. Go ahead.
That he may see and know him that despised the house of Israel.
Go ahead.
And that sent him to us, as it were to his death. Then they called Achor out of the house of Ozias, and when he was come and saw the head of the Holofernes in a man's hand in the assembly of the people,
Go ahead.
he fell down on his face, and his spirit failed. But when they had recovered him, he fell at Judah's feet.
Yeah, Judith.
Judith's feet. Judith's feet, and reverenced her, and said, Blessed art thou in all the tabernacle of Judah.
Because the Most High used a woman to put Holofernes to death. Go ahead.
And in all nations which hearing thy name shall be astonished.
Go ahead.
Now therefore tell me all these things that thou hast done in these days.
Go ahead.
Then Judith declared unto him in the midst of the people all that she had done from the day that she went forth until that hour she spake unto them.
Go ahead.
And when she had left off speaking, the people shouted with a loud voice
Go ahead.
and made a joyful noise in their city.
Go ahead.
And when Achor had seen all the power of Israel had done, he believed in the power greatly, and circumcised the flesh of his foreskin, and was joined unto the house of Israel unto this day.
So Achor had to be an Israelite. Why? Because we finna read what we finna read in Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter, and the 2nd and 3rd verse. I want to say this word says. So go ahead, bro.
This is Deuteronomy Chapter 23, verse 2. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of YAHAWAH by SHAM YAHAWASHI, even to his tenth generation shall he not enter the congregation of YAHAWAH by SHAM YAHAWASHI.
And 10th is final. That's like a final saying. Go ahead.
Verse 3. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of YAHAWAH by SHAM YAHAWASHI, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of YAHAWAH by SHAM YAHAWASHI forever.
See? So that's why I would say Achor had to be an Israelite, because ain't no Ammonite gonna be able to enter into the congregation of the house of Israel. And you know, having faith, that's a gift. Give me Ephesians 2 and 8. Ephesians 2 and 8. And it's also a treasure, man. So this is why I would say through the Spirit that Achor had to be an Israelite, not an Ammonite, man. Go ahead.
This is Ephesians Chapter 2, verse 8. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of the Most High.
So it is the gift of the Most High. So the Most High is not going to give that gift to any and everybody, man. Okay? So that's why I would say Achor is an Israelite, even though it say an Ammonite. You gotta read the spirits, man. And not all the Israelites that's on YouTube understand and know how to read spirits and break down these scriptures through the spirit. So you both got anything else? So with that, I'd like to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, Rekah, Hakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostle GMS who rule well. Salute you brothers that's teaching this word in truth and sincerity and strength by Yahweh Bahashim Yahawashi. So with that, Mawafla Babylon,
Mawafla Babylon,
Mawafla Babylon,
Mawafla Babylon,
and Mawafla 2/3 Shalom. Stay strong and search the scriptures, and Lord willing, the family of the word comes soon. And the only people who won't be saved is Israelites. Bottom line.